Jeannie, get off the phone. I didn't say you could have people over. Jeannie,
I'll do that.
get off the goddamn phone.
Listen, Lucky. I'm not going to be able to go to your wedding. The doctors don't know how much time I have. My name is Kim Page. I'm 58 years old, and I'm a student at Saddleback College. I was in the corporate world for 30 years in the tech industry. I had a great career. I climbed up the ladder. I was very ambitious. I worked for a Fortune 250 company for 14 years. And for the last 6 years of that company, I was an executive. And in 2009, I lost everything. I was laid off with a lot of other people in the company. So that was difficult. It was very difficult. I was a certified leadership coach, so I did some consulting after that. After a few years, you have to do some soul searching. And I wanted to go to India to learn to teach yoga. And I wanted to learn it from the gurus in India. I was there for 3 months. It was the greatest experience of my life. When I came back from that trip, is really that trip, part of that was the catalyst that really made me think about what it is I want to do with the rest of my life. How do I want to spend the second half of my life? I never was confident in my voice. I never liked the sound of my voice. So I never really worked, and I didn't have teachers that really worked to help me develop it at all. And so I pretty much got booed off the stage one time. And I swore I would never sing again. It was heart-wrenching. I mean, I look back on it now and I've overcome some of it, but those kinds of things stick with you. I went through the fear, I go through the fear still, and I thought, you know what? I'm gonna do this. I would love to do musical theater. I would love to do, and I want to discover if that's even possible for me. So that was the first class coming back to Saddleback that I took. You know, part of me didn't know what to expect, but I anticipated that I would be the oldest person in the class. And as I walked on campus, as I saw the young kids sitting in the quad, you know, chit-chatting together, and I noticed there was a clique walking into the classroom. And then to my surprise, I looked over and I saw Karen. English? And it's just, there's something about that I just went, oh, yes, okay, I'm not the only one. This is great. I'm still scared to death to sing in front of anybody, but at least I have someone who's my age in this class. And that was a great feeling. I don't know if that class experience would have been the same without Karen and Amy, because we all met in that class.
I've been taking classes from Saddleback for a long time.
I took the pills an hour ago. I should be gone by midnight.
Yeah, I started over at in the CTVR department, and I went into film acting, and I had a great time.
I was in choir for one semester and applied. I did choir and applied, and musical theater all in one semester, 1 year. That was a lot to chew on, because it was like, here, learn all these songs, here, learn all these songs, here, learn all these songs, and so my brain was to capacity that semester.
We actually have quite a few students that are coming back for a variety of reasons. So, I mean, it's really cool because they have a whole set of life experiences that they're also bringing to the classroom.
In my first level class, I have a couple of older students. And you know, it's interesting, I like having the older students because they bring a perspective that the younger students don't have. They bring a world experience that the younger students don't have. They bring a life experience that the younger students don't have. And they have knowledge of themselves that the younger students, you know, they're so young, a lot of them, they're just sort of figuring out who they are.
So older people coming back to school is really about a new paradigm. It's really about a new way we think about our careers. We think about doing something for some section of our lives and then coming back to do something different. So increasingly, even in the credit side of our programs, we have for the last 5 or 6 years seen an uptick in the number of people taking credit-bearing classes. Now over 3,000 students who are 45 plus take credit-bearing classes.
So first of all, when I lost everything, I lost a huge paycheck to go with that. It made it difficult to really explore a lot of different things. And that's when I decided it doesn't matter what I do, I'll go back and teach fitness. I actually have a pet care business, and I work really hard. I probably work harder now than I ever did. Plus I'm back in school. Those logistical those are challenges enough to anybody, but especially for someone my age, because we just don't have the physical stamina that we used to have. But my desire to come to school and to learn is strong. And that really helps you push through. And to have a great environment to come to and to learn makes all the difference in the world. But there are just the physical. So as we get older, hearing is harder. It's hard to hear maybe instructions in the classroom. I notice sometimes I'll be in a classroom and I'll just tune out a little bit because I can't hear what's going on. And then just the self-imposing age, I don't know, insecurity, walking into a classroom with all these young kids and wondering if they're thinking, why is she here? What? You want so much to be here and to be part of the group, and you're just here to learn. But yeah, sometimes it's hard, and you wonder, do I belong here?
So being 63 years old, there are physical limitations nowadays. I'm not as fast as I used to be. My brain does not function as quickly as it once did. Finding words, like right now, finding words are hard sometimes. Memorizing lines is an issue. When I was younger, there weren't any issues with memorizing lines. Now, I worry about it. I worry about that, and it's kind of like a catch-22. The more you worry about it, the worse it gets. And the worse it gets, the more you worry about it, so you're always kind of, am I going to do this right? Are they going to kick me out because I don't remember my lines? And so that's hard. That's really, really hard.
Like I said, most of the obstacles were ones that I made up in my own. What were those? Just, is it too late for me? Should I even be bothering doing this at this time of my life? Am I actually good enough? Am I good enough to even bother pursuing this at this juncture in my life? Am I ridiculous? Are people gonna be like, wow, she's too old for this? It's ridiculous. So, yeah, those were very real.
I find that having someone with a little maturity in the class is actually a really anchoring experience for the group. It tends to give the group a focus that they might not otherwise have.
And the funny thing about that, I have to share with you, is that they would often feel not ready. They would feel like they were disadvantaged relative to younger students when they looked around the room and said, how am I going to learn all this stuff that younger people learn? And it turns out they were always the best student.
Since doing musical theater was a goal of mine, I decided it was time to go for it. And I auditioned for Into the Woods. I really wasn't expecting to get a role. I really felt that auditioning in itself would be good practice. So of course I was really excited when I found out that I got Cinderella's mother and the granny. Excited and yes, very nervous. But then I found out that both Karen and Amy were also cast in the show. And I knew at that point that this was going to be something really, really special. And of course it was.
I had much more confidence in my abilities and my skills than before. And then coming back and auditioning for Into the Woods and getting that was wonderful. And getting Jack's mom was even better because that's really what I wanted. I wanted Jack's mom because I thought it was a really, really good fit for me. And it was an opportunity to work my comedic chops. And it was an opportunity to work with an orchestra.
Into the Woods was the first play I had done for a while, so I kind of needed to get back in the swing of just being in that world again. And being able to play the stepmother, you know, that role was just, it was just fun. It's fun to be evil. But then also be backstage, you know, loving on all your fellow actors and stuff and having fun.
I wish more people were brave, because I think that for an older student to come back to college is one of the most brave things that they can do. And every time somebody comes in and they go, I want to do this, and I want to get better, and I want to learn, and they take that step, that's really brave. And then when they take the second step, it's even braver. But with every step that they take, it becomes easier, and the sequence becomes easier, and then it was as if you were doing it the entire time. It's really beautiful, and again, it goes back to bravery.
All the vocal classes I took, that Into the Woods just really has to force you to face that fear. Not that it's not there anymore, but I don't let it control me. It's just giving me the confidence to try so many different things. But I'm also not just in front of the camera, but behind it. But I love it. It's that creativity, and I think that's why the arts are such a draw for men and women our age. It's the arts, we have that outlet, that creative outlet, and it doesn't have to be acting or singing or documentary filmmaking. There's so many opportunities here, and I'm just grateful that I took that step.